had this Fender Passport 250. One day it got into protected mode. It is when the speakers are shorted or something's going on inside in the power supply or the amplifier. I looked in internet to see what could be the problem. Some people suggest it is the power supply. It uses a switch mode power supply like computer. Let's open it and see what is really going on inside this amplifier. I'm going to remove these 8 screws, and this should give me access to all the components inside. Here, as you can see, there is the power supply, the big shiny metal case. This is the console or mixer. Here you have the amplifier. I'm gonna test the power supply. I don't think this is the problem, and we can just unplug the amplifier and check if this is a problem or not. So I'm going to check the voltage in each of the output. It should be reading 51 volts. There you have it, 51. And in the other one it should be 51 too. There you have it, 51 volts. It is showing negative because I have the leads backwards, but we're okay with the power supply. Now let's check the status LEDs. It should be green. If the problem is the power supply, it's going to light red again. But if it lights green, that means that the problem is on the amplifier. Is green, so the power supply is okay. Let's check the amplifier, but before we do that, I'm going to patch some cables in here. Somebody previously opened this unit and make a mess with the cables. Some of them they put black tape on it and it fell down, and it could be a major problem. So I'm going to put some sleeving in here. The sleeving shrinks with the heat, so it's not going to fall out if things get too hot in here. Okay, now going to the amplifier, I'm going to test. I put my multimeter in diode check, and I'm going to check each of the LEDs on these transistors. This one is shorted. This one is shorted too. This one seems fine. Fine. Again, fine. And once again, fine. So look at this. The beep on the multimeter is constant, is not blinking. So that means there is a short. It could be the transistor, or it could be some component on the board. So I'm going to remove those 2 transistors and check them again. If it's still in short, that means that they're gone bad, and I'm going to just replace them. But if the transistors are okay, then I have to find some component on the board that is shorted and replace it too. It is shorted, the base to emitter is short. We put it backwards and it is the same. To check transistors, it is very easy. This is a basic test. Since transistor works like if they have a diode inside, NPN, a PNP transistor, just have the diode backwards, so you just put your multimeter on diode checking, and put your leads in the emitter to collector or to the base, and should be reading like a diode between drop something like between 0.7 and 0.45 volts. A diode is a semiconductor that is going to pass electricity from one way and not conduct the electricity on this other way. So that's what we are looking inside a transistor. So I got the replacement. I'm going to put some heatsink paste here and put it back into the amplifier. Also, I'm going to clean up this board because the previous technician who worked on this let a lot of flux in the board, and it could cause some interference or short circuits, so it has to be very clean. Also, since the problem in this was heat, I'm going to open some holes on the heatsink so it can bring a little bit more ventilation inside the unit. The ventilation and also the two transistors installed on the amplifier. Now we are going to put it inside the unit again. Of course, without the amplifier and the power supply, this is only a shell, this is only the mixer. You can use, if the power supply goes bad and also the amplifier, you can use this board as a mixer if you just supply 15 volts to it. Well, I had to put the amplifier and the heatsink first because the power supplies mount in the heatsink. It has two screws attached to the heatsink, so I had to install the heatsink first, then turn it over and install the power supply. And I forgot to put this piece of metal that pushes the transistors against the heatsink so it can dissipate the heat. I'm going to try to install it without disassemble everything again. Maybe we can do it, but we have to make sure it is very, very well attached. Now let's connect all the wires inside again. This is the wire for the speakers. It goes from the amplifier to the front board, the one that has the mixer. In the lower part of the mixer there are the outputs. And this other cable is the minus and plus 51 volts, the main power supply for the amplifier. So I'm going to plug the power supply and then the speakers. Now it is closed, and let's turn it on and see if it's still on protect mode. All green. So the problem was the transistors only. We were lucky with this. Now I'm going to test it. In order to test it, I'm going to connect the microphone and this keyboard.
One, two, three, testing, testing. Left, right. Speakers working. One, two, three, testing, testing.
It looks okay, both speaker sounds. It sounds very good. It is connected to my Bose 301 speakers and sounds fantastic. I didn't know that this unit has so very good sound. And we're done. I noticed that there is a ventilation here in the compartment of the cables, so we need to remove the cover of the unit, this cover, so the air can flow inside the unit. That was the error before, because they have it fixed in a church and they have this door closed all the time, so air could not flow inside the units. That's why it burned. But now with this tab removed, it's not going to be a problem anymore. Please subscribe, please like, unlike, whatever. Thank you.